So my pre-calculus kids, here comes some practice examples from section 9.2. Now that you've seen the video, this is going to be one of the easiest sections ever because we have that handy dandy chart, remember this one, that's going to help us through a lot of the problems. So keep that chart handy as we're doing these problems. First questions they want to know, what's the reference angle? So remember, reference angles are made from where the angle stops to the closest x-axis. So I want to know how far it is here. So if this is 180 and this is 215 in a negative direction, how far is it from 180 to 215? And you would say that's 35 degrees, and you'd be correct. Reference angles are oftentimes with an apostrophe next to them. So that's what it would look like, 35 degrees. If I come over here to negative 13 pi over 9, what the heck is that? So I think about that, that's negative 1, and if I'm at 9, that's 4 more. 1 and 4 pi over 9, 13 pi over 9. Where would that fall? Here is 1 pi. I am going 4/9 of the way to pi. Now think about that. Am I halfway or not? That's a little tricky. But if I'm half of 9 is 4.5. I'm not there yet. So that means that I'm kind of real close, but here I am. That would be negative 1 and 4/9 pi. The reference angle is this guy right in here to the closest x-axis. Well, isn't that the 4/9 we just talked about? So my reference angle is the 1 and 4/9 more. It's the 4/9 part. So 4 pi over 9. Remember, reference angles are always positive and they're always acute. All right, so then we're going to get into find the exact values. Now they gave you a picture here. We're not going to use the picture. We are going to use our handy dandy chart right here. I want the tangent of 315. So I come to 315, I look down, there's 315. I'm going to go across to where tangent is. Tangent in this column is negative 1. That's my answer. This guy's a negative 1. If I want cosecant of negative 270, on the right-hand side of your chart, you've got all the negative angles. So I go to negative 270. I want cosecant. Look at the top. Cosecant. Oh, there it is. It is 1. Your answer is 1. I could ask you the same kind of questions in pi language, which is 28 and 34. If I look at number 28, cosine of pi over 6. Well, pi over 6 is right here. If I want the cosine of pi over 6, I go across to cosine, and I see my answer is the square root of 3 over 2. If I want the sine of negative pi is here. Go all the way across to sine, and it's 0. And that's your answer for this guy. If I flip to the second page, number 40, now they're going to change it up for you a little bit. Number 40, they're saying, all right, what angle has this? So look at what the directions say. See, it's between 0 and 360. They want me to give angle measures in degrees. So I want to know, where is the cosine as square root of 3 over 2? I'm going to go back to my handy dandy chart, and I'm going to look at cosine being the square root of 3 over 2. Go to the cosine column. The first place it is, the square root of 3 over 2 is at 30 degrees. I'm using the 30 degrees because they asked for me to have it in degrees. So I put 30 degrees here, but guess what? There's another place. If I keep going down the column, there's actually a second place where the cosine is the square root of 3 over 2. Keep going down the column, all negatives, nope, negatives, no negatives. Oh, 330 degrees. 330 degrees also has a square root of 3 over 2. And so I'm going to say 330 degrees. So you're labeling the two places where that happens. Sometimes it's only one place, sometimes it's two. 46, secant of theta is negative 2. So I go to my handy dandy chart. I want to go to the secant column. I want to know where it's negative 2. Oop, here's a spot. Go over how many degrees is that? It's 120. I'm going to put 120 here. Then I'm going to see if there's another place where secant is negative 2. Keep going. Negative 2. Oh, there's a spot, 240. 240 is another place where that happens. All right, so trying to find the angles where these things happen are just as easy. You're just looking down the columns. For number 49, they changed the directions. Now they want to know what it is in pi's. So that's okay. It's just a different column you're going to read from. So you want to know, where is the tangent 1? So if I look at my chart, the tangent column is 1 here at 45 degrees, but they want it in pi language at pi over 4. So this value would be pi over 4. And then the question is there another spot? Let's see if there's anywhere else that I've got a tangent that's 1. Tangent that's 1. Keep going, keep going. Tangent's 1. Oh, here's another spot. Tell the pi language, 5 pi over 4. All right, last one like this, 55. Where is the cotangent? Negative 1. All right, go to the cotangent column. Cotangent column, negative 1. Here. They want it in pi language. Go over to pi language, 3 pi over 4. They want to know where else is cotangent negative 1, and you say, oh, at 7 pi over 4. That would be the second location. And by the way, what do you notice about these answers? They're going to have the same denominators. When you go and do those, they're not always going to be fourths, but you will have same denominators for those. And then the last one I'm going to leave you with is number 58, because number 58, and you don't need the circle to be able to do this. All you need is your chart. So if you have, and the only thing they gave you is this, you have a radian measure that's negative 3 pi over 4. So you're going to go back to your handy dandy chart, and you're looking for where negatives are over here on the right. Where do you have a negative 3 pi over 4? Oh, right here. All you need to do is fill in this column, because that's pretty much what they're asking you for. What are the degrees for that column? Well, degrees, let me make sure I'm doing this right. The degrees are 225. The radians are 5 pi over 4. The sine is a negative square root of 2 over 2. The cosine is a negative 1/2. The tangent's a square root of 3. The cosecant is negative 2 square roots of 3 over 3. The secant's a negative 2. And the cotangent is a square root of 3 over 3. The negative degrees would be negative 120. So all you needed to do was fill in that column, fill in that row based off of the information that they gave you here. So this chart's going to be really super duper handy for you in being able to do this whole section. So good luck with the rest of the practice problems. Email me if you got any questions. I miss you guys and hope you're all doing well. I'll talk to you soon.